Hey everyone, it's Hannah, the Omaha Introvert, and I guess it's been a while since I've been here, or so I'm hearing from some people. Yes, it has been over 2 months since I filmed a video. Yeah, let's just get started. I'm going to mention really quick that something really exciting happened to me. Last year I was asked to write an article for Big Stir magazine, which is a power pop record label. They have artists like Chris Church, Lanny Flowers, Bill Lloyd, just Brother Steve, a bunch of cool bands. And so they asked me to do an article for this special power pop issue, Is This Power Pop Special. And yep, my name is actually on the front cover down here, and I have a page where I contributed an article. So this whole page, that's my article. My article is called Who is Power Pop? So, I focused a little bit on the who. Basically, they asked me, how I define power pop and what does power pop mean to me? Like what bands. I also have my top 10 list of power pop albums that I contributed down here. It's really exciting for me to have been able to work on this and complete it. I was a little hesitant to do it because honestly, I haven't written an article since college. And I graduated back in like 2005, so it's been that long. But yeah, if you want to order this, there's still some copies left. They might do a second edition later on if it sells out, but I will leave the link down below if you want to check that out. And it also comes with a CD compiled by John Borak. He's the one who also asked me to contribute the article. So this is a CD of power pop tracks of artists and bands that are on the Big Stir label. So yeah, I just had to kind of bring that up because it was pretty thrilling for me to have even been asked to do that. So I'm honored and grateful. Anyway, moving on. I'm going to detail our 3-week-long road trip, which happened back in, I guess we started November 14th. And we got back to Omaha December 1st or December 3rd. See, it's been a while now. So I had to write some notes down because it would have been better if I had filmed this video right away, but life, etc. So let me just first explain that we took Chris's cat, which is an elderly cat. He's 18 years old, but we took him because, he has some medical issues and we just wanted to make sure he was taken care of. So, and it's fun traveling with him, he has a blast, but so we only like to drive maybe 4 to 6 hours a day, 7 tops. We're not like long hauler road trippers where we can go 12 hours a day. No, we like to keep it at a minimum so we can kind of explore cities along the way and such. So our first stop was Springfield, Missouri, and we were able to hit 2 stores there. I took some video of some of these stores. Not the best video taker or video compiler, but there will be some video throughout this so you can see kind of what the stores are like, what the layout is. So we checked out Heavy Heads. I did not get a video of that store, but they had some cool punk titles in that store. And I'd probably go back to visit that one. I just didn't buy anything. I didn't see anything on that particular day. So Heavy Heads. And then Stick It in Your Ear was the cool other store we stopped in. So here's a short video of the store and then I'll show what I bought. I was able to find Magazine's 4th album. This is Magic, Murder, and the Weather. It's like the gold stamp promo. This is not one I see too often. I've seen it before, but I would say this one's not really the place to start with Magazine if you're a newcomer to their music. The first 3 albums, in my opinion, that's where it's at. Like, start there. This album still has plenty of enjoyable moments. I mean, Howard Devoto can do no wrong in my book, but it just doesn't have the fire that the previous albums had. So yeah, this one was a nice one to pick up. Okay, so then the next day we went to Memphis, and yeah, we only spent one night there. So, you know, during the day we're driving, and then at night we get to have a few hours to explore the city. So I would have liked to explore more of Memphis, but we stayed in like this Elvis hotel, which is kind of fun, right? So Ghana Records, that was the first big one I wanted to hit up. And I don't know, I wasn't impressed. Could hardly move around in the store. I guess we kind of went during a busy time. I couldn't browse without like bumping into people, and I don't like that. I like to be in a quieter store where I can take my time. But they had lots of new vinyl there. The they have a used punk section, but honestly I didn't recognize like 99% of the titles that were in the punk section, so, which is okay. So if you like more obscure punk, that's probably the place to check out if you're in Memphis. The next place we stopped in was Shangri-La Records, and this place was awesome. I love this place. I was able to take a little video here. So the first find, and this is pretty exciting for me because I also have the CD. I've had the CD for a while, but this is a band called the Poo Sticks. I know, it's kind of a funny name. I like the artwork on that. So this is a band from Wales. It's a band that does not take themselves too seriously. So this record is probably their most well-known, and this is a 2019 Glass Modern Records reissue. It's a European import. I only got it for $10 and it was sealed. So that's really cool. There's a lot of Neil Young guitar influences. It's kind of power pop. Amelia Fletcher from Tallulah Gosh and Heavenly. I like that she's on this record. She contributes vocals, which is awesome. So yeah, check out the Poo Sticks sometime. This is called The Great White Wonder, and it's definitely their most recognized album. So I was happy to grab that. And then I found this one from the Lime Spiders, The Cave Comes Alive. This is the first time I've seen this in the wild. I've been looking for this one probably for 2 years now. So I don't know, my eyes just lit up when I saw it there in the bins. I was like, that's mine. I'm getting that finally. I believe they're from Australia. This is Psych 60s Garage Revival. This was released in 1987. Really exciting energy on this. Love this album a lot. So glad I finally found it. I guess I haven't been showing labels, but this is on Virgin. Yeah, good stuff. This is by far my favorite album by them as well. I've heard some of the other ones and it doesn't come close to the fire of this one. And the last one I bought there, used, is The Primitives. And this is their first album. It's called Lovely. Still has a hype sticker on there. Yeah, so British band, indie pop, Crash as indicated. Yeah, that was a big hit for them. I think you can hear that in the movie Dumb and Dumber, if I remember. This whole album is just excellent. Still in the Shrink on RCA. It's like jangle pop, simple, lots of hooks. What's the song I really liked on here? Stop Killing Me and Crash, obviously, but excellent. Primitives. So our next stop was Chattanooga, Tennessee. We got in a little bit too late, so we just had time to eat dinner somewhere and head back to the hotel and sleep for the next day's worth of driving. But I noticed they did have several record stores in Chattanooga. So after Chattanooga, we stopped in Valdosta, Georgia, which is more of the southern part of Georgia. And the reason we stopped there, it's a pretty small town, but Chris has relatives there, so it was nice to meet some of them. And just hang out for a bit there, but there was no record stores in Valdosta. All right, so the next 2 days we were in Orlando, Florida to go to Disney World. And I love Disney World. It had been probably 15 to 20 years since I had been there. Chris loves it too. We had a blast. We could have spent more time there, but we were on kind of a schedule. So we hit probably 3 of the parks in a day and a half. So I think we made great tracks. And yeah, if you haven't been, seriously, it's just a dream. So then our final stop was Fort Lauderdale, Florida, kind of that whole area. We were able to attend the Fort Lauderdale show, which was awesome. You guys, I found a ton of just, what's in here, like indie, power pop, new wave, stuff I never see. Okay, I'm gonna show you that right now. One of the first tables I stopped at this Fort Lauderdale record show, this vendor was incredible. I was just like going through his stuff and just pulling records out, like every 10th record or something. I don't know how much I spent. I probably spent $60 at his table, but just amazing stuff. And so I found Peter Murphy's Love Hysteria. So this is his second album. It's not perfect shape, but he sold it to me for $3 because he saw what it looked like, and it's actually not too bad. I cleaned it up. There's no skips. I mean, I'm happy with it. Yeah, I got a heck of a deal on that one. Like I said, second album. This is kind of the point where I think he started to disappoint goths. It's a point where you either are on board with him or you kind of fall off, because I think he was going more into a pop direction starting with this record. I scratched my head at a lot of his lyrics, but lyrics are kind of secondary to me anyway. I did a whole video on this a couple of years ago where I prefer the music and if it moves me as opposed to good lyrics. The music is what I pay attention to most of all, so if I can't understand lyrics, it's really not a deal breaker for me for an album. So on this one, I really like Dragnet Drag. Time has got nothing to do with it, but yeah, heck of an album, this Love Hysteria. I should also mention that I did buy this reissue of his later album titled Deep, and I mentioned this in one of my last videos that I couldn't find it or that I was gonna buy it down the road. I ended up buying it from Acoustic Sounds online because it was a great price and there was another record I wanted to buy on there anyway. So yeah, it's on this clear vinyl. Sounds great on from Beggar's Banquet, I believe. Beggar's Archive. So yeah, the reissues are really good if you can get your hands on them. And then I found this excellent album from Boomtown Rats, A Tonic for the Troops, and I had several people recommend this album to me when I did my 1979 video. Yeah, I'll show the label. I got this for a really good deal because, you know, when you're at record shows, you bundle and save. If you can buy several from the same vendor, you will most likely get a deal from them, or, you know, $5-10+ off. So it's worth to buy more from a vendor if you see stuff you like. But this album, yeah, there's no sophomore slump here. This is just fantastic. You got Rat Trap, Living in an Island, Like Clockwork, just so good. Boomtown Rats. Yeah, so another one, I don't see this band often in the wild, so I was just pretty excited to see something from the Jazz Butcher at all. And funny thing, at this record show, I saw this record 2 or 3 times there from different vendors, and I was just blown away because I never see them. But this is a comp. It's called Bloody Nonsense. And they were like, I featured them on my channel before, maybe in one of my Jangle Pop videos, I don't quite remember, but they're on big time. So Pat Fish, kind of the mastermind of the group, sadly he passed away last year, so we no longer have him around. So that was a bummer. But this is just a really good place to start. It's a comp, and I probably didn't need this because a lot of the tracks on here are taken from A Scandal in Bohemia and the Sex and Travel EP, which I already own, but I love Jazz Butcher, and again, it wasn't that expensive, so I had to get it. Great comp, great band. Especially if you like humorous, kooky lyrics, like, check them out, for real. Then I found the Smithereens 12-inch of their song from their first album called In a Lonely Place. And I don't see their 12-inch singles that often, so it just has 3 tracks. So In a Lonely Place is kind of like one of their, I guess, more mellow songs. Suzanne Vega contributes backing vocals, and it's a good tune. And then they have 2 live tracks on here, Behind the Wall of Sleep and Beauty and Sadness. So love the Smithereens. Love them, love them. Enigma Records. So yeah, nice to find that one as well. And this one was also just a stunning find. Miracle Legion, I think it's their 3rd album, Me and Mr. Ray. And I showed this on Instagram. Hop on Instagram and follow me if you're on there. Tons of people from the vinyl community just share pictures of albums they're listening to at any moment. Just a great way to keep in touch with people in the vinyl community, see what they're listening to, comment that you like that album, or hey, check this song out, whatever. This was released in 1989. It's on Rough Trade, but there's a label. This is very low-key, folky, jangly pop, and this, I don't know, I really like this album from them. This might be my favorite. Sounds amazing with headphones. So Miracle Legion, Me and Mr. Ray. This band I've talked about before in my Jangle Pop series. I did 3 videos on Jangle Pop, and yeah, I'll probably leave one of the videos up here. But the Connells, and I showed the CD of this one, Boylan Heights. Really underrated group. This is probably their finest album, or definitely my top 2 or 3 albums from them. Produced by Mitch Easter, if that tells you anything. Yeah, it's like Celtic influences with some birdsy, jangly, REM guitars. Stunning album. And a lot of these I don't see on the regular. Like, I never see them in Omaha. This vendor just like wowed me. I was just like, I was filling up the bag, I'll just say that. The next one is B-52's Whammy, another one I did not own, and I've been looking for this one, but I never have been able to find the price I like, and I got this for, well, it was marked at $8, but when all is said and done, I got a deal, so it was less than that. And if you don't like the B-52s, goodbye. Like, they're one of my favorite bands. I feel like maybe people have lost interest in them when this came out. I don't understand that, because this one has some great tracks. Butterbean cracks me up. Queen of Las Vegas, that's also great. So I will show the label quickly. Warner Brothers. Yeah, if you're already a fan and you haven't heard this one, get on it. All right, so that was just from one vendor at the show. So this other vendor I'm going to focus on had some really cool, obscure indie stuff, some punk. I spent a lot at his table, and I don't even think I'm showing you everything that I bought, so these are the highlights. Green Pajamas, another one I have never seen in a while, and this has been on my want list for at least a year. This is their album called Book of Hours. It's pretty cool artwork. I think the artwork kind of matches the vibe of the album too. So they were a band from Seattle, and this was sealed, by the way, this copy. Very exciting, but they were loosely part of the Paisley underground scene, and they have so many albums out. They're still together, and I think they just released an album out maybe last year as well, but they had so many albums. So this one came out in 1986. And Green Monkey Records, Seattle. They kind of definitely have some psychedelic influences in their music. Interesting fact, they originally did the song Kim the Waitress, which was later covered by Material Issue. Speaking of Material Issue, did you guys pick up the International Pop Overthrow reissue? Because I got that one too, and that would be one of my favorite reissues of last year. Anyway, I didn't pull it out, but that song is not on this record. Yeah, it's just psych pop, very reflective lyrics, really good stuff. So Green Pajamas. Okay, and I definitely probably paid a little too much for this one, but it's only because this is one of my favorite 90s bands, and it's Idaho. And this is the only concert Chris and I attended last year, which was back in early July. You know, it was that time period where things were just getting back to normal. People weren't wearing their masks as much. Like, if you were vaccinated, you didn't have to really wear your mask. People were just walking around having a good time. And then, you know, Delta hit, and yeah, things went down the tubes again. But So this is our only live show from last year, and this is a very rare EP by Idaho. And how I would describe them, well, I would compare them to kind of like the slowcore bands of the 90s, like Codeine, Red House Painters, Low. Definitely, you know, different spin. Like they can go heavy or they can be really soft in their music. And Jeff Martin, just a genius. I love his guitar playing, love his songwriting. So this one has 7 tracks, and this is rare. This is an original. By the way, it's called the Bayonet EP. So definitely paid up for that one, but it's only because, you know, they're one of my favorites and I had to have it. And I probably just confused a bunch of people by showing this because they're not that well known, but here's to hoping we get some reissues of their earlier albums soon. Okay, and the next one I found is a band called the Besnard Lakes, and I do have one of their CDs, so I kind of already knew their sound. This is an incredible, sublime listening experience. They're hard to categorize. They're like shoegaze, they have dreamy textures, beautiful harmonies, kind of psychedelic in their sound as well. So this came out in 2013, and I have yet to check out their latest album from last year. You guys, I'm so behind on new music because last year I was just in this post-punk and punk phase. I couldn't stop listening to that, right? So, and I'm still kind of in that phase, by the way. But because of that, I kind of shooed some new releases aside. I didn't get to listen or explore much new music. I will go over some of my favorite releases from last year at the end of this video, by the way, because I didn't put out a favorites of 2021 video. Shame on me, but yeah. It's because I was stuck in the past listening to post-punk and punk and, you know, all that good stuff, which, you know, good for me, I guess, but I also missed out on the newer gems. So enough of that. Okay, so that was all from that vendor. We're still going. And this was awesome to find a used copy of. Another I just don't stumble across. I have so much from the jam, but I did not have this essential collection. So this is like a singles and B-sides collection. It's a 2 LP. Right there. God, this is like amazing. Any jam fan needs to have this, and it just took me a while to find a copy. So, but yeah, they're on Polydor as usual. Anyway, now I'm pretty complete on the jam. If I were to do like a revised top 20 favorite bands list, I think the jam would now make my top 20. Like I just, like last year I listened to them a ton. I can't get enough of the jam and Paul Weller. So really cool. Gatefold and packaging. Yeah, this is essential. So snap from the jam. Get it. And this is kind of a different, unique release, but I'm a huge Japan fan as well. So this is their release called Oil on Canvas. It's a gatefold. Very nice. There, I will show the label quickly. Virgin Records. So apparently this is live tracks recorded during their final live concert tour. I'm a little confused on the validity of the live recording. I've just read some different things about this, and it's, if anyone can clear that up for me, that would be great. But I think the drummer admitted that the drums were recorded live and then the rest was recorded in a studio. So I'm not sure. First time I've seen this one as well. So it was just it was a very plentiful show there in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So Chris also found some great stuff that I probably would have bought as well. No doubt I'll be borrowing some of the records he bought, but that was one of the best shows I think I have attended. And to think we almost left before this one vendor set up, but we stuck around and it paid off. Okay, so now it's time to head back home, and our first stop on the way back was Jacksonville, Florida. And I had never been to Jacksonville, had never even driven through it. It was actually a cooler city than I thought it was gonna be. So we were able to stop at 2 stores in Jacksonville. The first one was Yesterday and Today Records. Yes, Jacksonville, Florida. Oh, here's a video for that. So we walk in the store and immediately I see just these 3 to 4 crates on the floor, and I start flipping through this stuff and nothing's priced. So I asked the owner, like, what are the prices on these? And he just hadn't gotten to it yet. So he just said, you know, bring up whatever and he'll tell me. So I ended up finding 3 awesome records there, and he sold them to me for $20 total. And these are great titles. So the first one, Echo and the Bunnymen, Songs to Learn and Sing. This is, when it comes to compilations, this is like a perfect compilation in my book, okay? It's a track listing. Like if you're an Echo fan, you already know about this. The label, Sire. It came with the inner sleeve. And these aren't like, oops. I wouldn't say these are a VG plus, but probably somewhere between a VG and VG plus. So I was pretty happy. There's no large defects on these or anything. The covers may be a little bit shot in some places, but I'm not worried about that. So that was the first one. And then I got 2 T-Rex gems that were missing in my collection. So I got Tanks. And this is on Reprise. There. This gatefold. Awesome. I can't believe he sold these to me for 20 bucks. And then I got Beard of Stars. The gatefold. Awesome albums to have. So those were 2 more added to my T-Rex stash. And then the final store in Jacksonville was Tiger Records. And this one's really exciting for me, you guys. Never thought I'd find this one in the wild. Lo and behold, I found it, and the price was amazing. So this Adam and the Ants EP, Ant Music EP. Yeah, this is definitely my favorite era of Adam and the Ants. It's from the Dirk Wears White Socks era, and I also have this on vinyl, but with a different cover. Anyway, so this is a cool CD edition I have, so it has all the songs from the EP on this as well. But just killer post-punk stuff. Like I said, my favorite era. There's actually this huge bumper sticker thing on the back here, and I will show the label. Do It Records. So there's issues with one side. It's like one side is pretty much near mint. The other side has some issues. There's like some scratches, but I did listen to it and it does not skip. But there are scratches on side 1. But it was $5, so I couldn't pass it up because honestly I've never seen this. I don't know if I'm gonna see it again. So let me know if you like this EP. This is definitely one of my favorite finds of the whole trip. All right, next we stopped in Savannah, which is one of my favorite cities to visit. In fact, we had a whole day to explore there. So at this point we have a trailer. We're transporting some furniture back home, and we don't really like driving it around. It's really hard to get around with it. So, you know, parking and such, it just makes it difficult. On this leg back, we're a little more limited on where we can go, what we can do. Savannah was a perfect place to stop because it's a walking city. You can walk to so many places. Downtown is great. I mean, you got the squares to check out. It's, yeah, everything is like within walking distance that you need to see for the most part. So Chris had never been there. I had been there once before. We did stop in a place called Rody's Records, but I did not get anything. I don't think Chris got anything either. We didn't have time to check out Graveface. I don't think it was really within where we were sightseeing, so we just didn't make it there, but that's supposed to be a cool store if you're in Savannah. Okay, so we have 3 more stops left. Next, we went to Asheville, North Carolina. It was kind of disappointing because we didn't get there until later in the day, and it's a mountain town. It's gorgeous, gorgeous. I would have loved to explore the record stores there. I think there's actually 4 or 5 record stores in Asheville, but the stores closed really early, I noticed, like around 5 o'clock, so that just wasn't working. You know, by the time we got in and then settled, got kitty settled, ate dinner, it just wasn't possible. So no record shopping in Asheville. But next was a huge stop for us. We went to Nashville, Tennessee, and it was a first for the both of us. As far as record stores, it was disappointing because we were there on a Monday and Tuesday. Come to find out, most of the stores don't open till like the end of the week, and I'm being totally serious. I thought this is the weirdest thing, especially like it's the holiday season. Why aren't you guys open? Why don't you have better hours? So we got to go to Grimey's. That's a pretty well-known store, right? I didn't really think much of it though, if I'm gonna be honest. Browsed their whole used section, didn't find anything. They have a lot of new records, new sealed records. I found the staff to be kind of snooty and uppity, which I didn't really appreciate. So I was pleased with their used CD section, and I bought a few things. Can't believe I didn't have this before in any format, but I bought Prince's Sign of the Times. So, you know, it's a 2 CD set there. Excellent shape. This was also cool for me to find, and some of you are probably gonna be like, well, why didn't you have that already? Well, I do have these albums, just not in this particular box packaging. She released 2 albums at the same time back in 2000. And they're like drastically different from each other. And Juliana Hatfield, by the way, is my favorite female artist of all time. Many of you already know that, but it just comes in this like 2 album set, and I have the 2 albums separately in my CD cabinet, but I wanted this packaging. So Beautiful Creature is definitely more low-key, more mellow. And then Juliana's Pony, that's like where she rocks out. It's like harder edged guitars, it's loud. So yeah, I love these 2 albums. And then we stopped at a store called The Groove, and I actually found something kind of cool there, but I'm reserving that for a finds video in the future just because I haven't even gotten to listen to it yet. So I'll show that later down the road. So while we were in Nashville, we got to go to the Musicians Hall of Fame, which was just a blast. I recommend going there if you can. It was like a Johnny Cash museum, really fun downtown area. Going to Nashville, we can now check that off. Again, we were only there a short time, but it was really fun. So our last stop was St. Louis, and we definitely did not have enough time. You guys, St. Louis is much more massive than I thought, and the city is just so spread out. Like, I think it took us at least, I don't know, 30 to 40 minutes just to get out of the city, like from the interstate. Like wow, we're still on this interstate, we're still in St. Louis, like driving out of there. But it's massive, and there's a lot of record stores there, but they're all spaced out very far apart, so we only had time to go to Record Exchange. I would have loved to have gone to many more, but you need literally probably 3 or 4 days to check out St. Louis and get more of a feel for it. But Record Exchange, kind of an overwhelming store. I didn't even know what to think. However, it was a little bit disappointing for me. I just didn't like how the store was organized. Like kind of hard to get your bearings when you're in there. Like they have a jazz section to the right, fine, that's clear cut. But then like they do have a used section, but like when you walk in, it's like, okay, this is like mainly oldies up here. But then they do have an alternative section, like the next row, which was okay. I just didn't see anything. And then they had like a punk CD section. I'm not sure I saw punk records, but it was just kind of a strange layout. They had a bunch of CD box sets behind the counter, so that was cool. I think I didn't like how it was organized, and it was kind of giving me like anxiety being in there. I don't know if that makes sense, but I didn't like it. So we ended up not getting anything there, I believe. I don't think Chris got anything. So that's a summation of our trip. Since I did not do a favorites of 2021, let me just show you some that I really enjoyed. I really like Lowe's Hey What, and I just love that they're still making music. They continue to wow me. And then this Amyl and the Sniffers, I'm kind of late in discovering them, but this Comfort to Me album, this is like rowdy punk rock, like going back to the 70s, those influences punk rock. It's just so good. And yeah, this might even be my favorite album of 2021, now that I think about it. I also bought their CD. It has like the black and white cover, so like 2019. So I'm a little late to the party with them. Juliana Hatfield's Blood, which I don't know why more people haven't mentioned this one. Again, pretty horrific cover art, but she is my favorite female artist. Another wonderful release from her, so I wanted to mention those. My favorite reissues of 2021 will probably have to be My Bloody Valentine's Loveless. Who Sell Out, I bought the mono edition copy. And what else am I missing? Oh, this one right here. This one I Can't Stop Listening to, Suburban Lawns. I showed that one before. And then Material Issue, International Pop Overthrow, which I guess I filed that one away. I'm not gonna dig that out right now, but those are my favorites. Once again, thank you so much for being patient with me. I know it's been a very long absence for me from YouTube. Yeah, if this video was very scattered, it's because I'm out of practice. But I missed all of yous. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.